Hi, hi all. Good morning. Today we talk about the exceptions. The basic about the what is exception, when it occur, what is the type of exception, examples of the exceptions around different type, and what is a try block, catchback, finally block, and how it's get executed. So these are the things we are talking about. So all are the interview questions most of the times asked about. So first we start with the what is exception. So exception is an abnormal condition or disturb the normal flow. That means you build one REST API. Okay, this is a REST API, and this REST API accepts the user. Okay, accept the user info and store into database. Okay, this is our application and store into database. Okay, but if you pass a null thing, then we haven't handled into code, so that's get break, that not stored into database. Okay, this case we can call as a exception, means this is the abnormal case, or this is the normal flow, means input the user info, put it into application, that store into database. This is the disrupt the normal flow. Okay, that is mean by exception. Okay, so what is the generally type of exception? So there are the three type of exception, means there are two type, means checked exception and unchecked exception. But for you, if you know the types, that is a checked exception, unchecked exception, and the third is error. Okay, checked exception means that we need to check, that means like SQL exception or IO exception. That means at a compile time, while compile time, Java internally checks that exception is handled or not. If not, then they throw a compile time error. That means the checked exception. In a simple language, if a Java enforce you to handle certain exception, that is a checked exception, and some exception Java not check that it's handled or not handled, that is unchecked exception. Which are checked by Java, that is a checked. Which is not checked, that is a non-checked exception. It's so simple. Error, it's a part of unchecked exception, because like a Stack Overflow error, so that is Java or anyone cannot predict at a compile time, because that is the runtime cases. Okay, checked exception is the compilation at a time checked. Okay, this is the basic about types. We'll go deeper, like to check the class hierarchy, like every exception or every error parent is a throwable have two child, one is an exception and another is an error. So error like means like Stack Overflow error, virtual machine error, or out of memory error. If this error occur, our application goes down. No any condition, means this is go down without the intimation. But exceptions we can handle, like IO exception is there, SQL exception is there, or a class found exception. These kind of exceptions are there, then we can simply put this exception in a try catch and we handle that situation. Okay, runtime exception are like that arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, or the index out of bound of exception. That kind of if exception are there, that are the unchecked, means Java cannot enforce to cover that at a programmatically, but you can cover that simply by putting a try catch block, so you can avoid these kind of conditions. Okay, these two conditions you can avoid. By default Java enforce this to you. Okay, enforced by Java to you to handle this. Okay, but this is not enforced by Java, but better to handle this also. Okay, that's the class definitions. Okay, class hierarchy. We'll check about the each and every exceptions. Some simple example, like suppose if you are dividing the 500 with the 0, that means exception, arithmetic exception will occur, like here we decided that exception, like 10 divided by 0, its exception object came, like exception throw that undivisible by 0, that will have exception. In the next exception, so s is equal to null, and for null you are checking the length, that means null pointer exception occur. In the next example, you assign s as a ABC. S is a your string, but here this is a character ABC. It's not the 1 to 10, and you are converting ABC to parse into integer. So here also number format exception will occur. Apart from that, you are defining the array with the 5 length, and here you are trying to check the 10th length character. Here also you are assigning 550 to this 10th location, but it's not part of your location. You have only 0 to 4 element are in your array, and you are trying to assign 10th value. So this is the array out of bound exception. Okay, these are the basic exception occur, and all these exceptions are the runtime exceptions. Okay, it haven't checked at a calculation, because we don't know s is a null or is anyone filled the data into this s ABC value. It runtime can change in this place. So all are the runtime exceptions. Okay, we'll move in the next part, like how to exception get handled. Like if the divide by 0 is the exception throws at this, we are checking that it is a handle or not. Okay, if this is a handle, that time means rest of the code get follow, means you have the 10 line of code. At here you are doing the 10.0, and these are the 3-line code. Okay, these 3 and these 3. Okay, if this exception is a handle, then don't worry, your flow remain the same, the execution. But if you haven't handled this exception, that abruptly code will terminate from here. like exception, print out the exception description, then stack trace and programming terminate. Okay, these three happen: exception printed, stack trace printed, and your program get terminated. In case of a handle, its exception is not handled. That's why exception handling is a more important, because flow haven't get broken in between. Okay, next thing we'll check about the how to handle the exception with the multiple block. Okay, so generally there are the three block which Java provided. One is a try block, okay, second one a catch block, and next is a finally block. Okay, so try block means where actually exception may occur. Okay, here exception may occur, that code we are putting into try block, may occur. But in a catch block we are writing what is the steps if exception occur. Okay, what is the recovery steps. Okay, and in a finally steps we are doing must do, means close resource, all this close a resource, or a must have the steps if exception occur or without exception, that steps need to follow. That is a part of a finally block. Okay, so without the exception handling, if exception occur, directly finally block get executed and next line get executed. Suppose if you are in a try block, you are doing this code. Suppose here null pointer exception occur, but if you are catching arithmetic exception, okay, arithmetic exception, this is also happen. So in that case cache is on called, because here we are calling arithmetic exception but actually thrown as a null pointer exception. In that case finally will get called if finally is there, because null pointer, it's not matching with the null to arithmetic. Okay, that's why that finally block directly get called. But with the exception, suppose if you are here doing the null pointer exception and null only you are caching here, so that time null, this catch block executed, and after catchback finally get executed and the next line of code get executed. So these are the two flows where the exception, without the exception and with the exception. Okay, yeah, that's it for today's session. Let me know if you want more advanced details around this. Yeah, bye bye.